Step out of the vehicle, now.
Officer, I need to understand why I'm being stopped.
You're being stopped because I said so. Now answer the question. What are you doing in this neighborhood?
I'm a taxi driver. I dropped off a passenger 30 minutes ago.
Yeah? Then why do you look nervous? Take off the mask. I need to see your face.
Officer, is there a lawful reason for this line of questioning?
My reason is...
The street was quiet, but the kind of quiet that felt wrong, like the air itself was waiting for something terrible to happen. A yellow cab rolled slowly down the narrow road, engine humming low, headlights cutting through the stillness. Inside the cab sat a black driver with calm eyes, both hands steady on the wheel. He didn't know that in less than 5 minutes, his entire identity would shake the world of the man about to stop him. And the man coming toward him, the police officer pacing his patrol car like he owned the night, had no clue that he was walking straight into the biggest mistake of his career. Before I continue, where are you watching this from? Tell me your city or country in the comments. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss stories like this. Now, back to it. The cab driver, known to everyone at the station as Captain Reed, had spent the last 6 months hearing complaint after complaint about one officer in particular. People feared this officer the way normal folks fear thunderstorms, loud, unpredictable, and capable of damage. That officer was known for pulling over black drivers for nothing, searching cars without reason, and turning every routine stop into humiliation. Internal affairs could never catch him. His excuses were polished. His reports were clean. Every time someone protested, he always had a reason. The car matched a description, or I smelled something, or they looked nervous. For years, he walked the line between legal and illegal with perfect balance. But Reed wasn't interested in excuses. He was interested in truth. So he went undercover. No badge, no uniform, no authority, just a driver's license, a taxi permit, and a small beard that changed the shape of his jawline. He wore simple clothes, the kind any everyday worker would have. He practiced talking more casually. He changed the way he sat, the way he looked around, even the way he breathed during stops. Hidden cameras filled the cab. A body cam hid beneath his shirt. Every angle was covered. This wasn't just an operation. It was a trap, and tonight the trap sprung itself. Captain Reed had been driving through the same district for almost an hour. He made sure to pass the patrol car twice. He didn't speed. He didn't swerve. He didn't give even a hint of a traffic violation. Yet he knew, deep down, that he wouldn't need to. Officers like the one he was targeting didn't need real reasons. They only needed a feeling. And officers like him only ever got feelings around people with skin like Reed's. Sure enough, flashing red and blue lights lit up the cab's interior. Reed inhaled deeply. Showtime. The patrol car slid behind him like a shark approaching its prey. The officer stepped out, posture puffed up, hand resting on his belt the same way a bully rests a hand on the shoulder of someone weaker. This officer, let's call him Officer Crane, walked with the confidence of a man who thought he was untouchable. He tapped his flashlight hard on the window, a demanding hit instead of a knock. Reed rolled his window down slowly. License and registration, Crane said sharply. No greeting. No explanation. Reed kept his voice steady. What's the problem, officer? Crane scoffed. The problem? Your taillight looked like it was flickering. Reed knew that was a lie. The cab had been checked less than 2 hours ago. Nothing flickered. Nothing malfunctioned. But arguing would ruin everything. He handed over his documents. Crane pointed his flashlight at Reed's face. What's with the mask? Health reasons, Reed replied. I drive different people every day. Take it off. I need to see your face. Reed paused. Is there a specific reason you need that? That question should have made Crane stop. A typical late-night driver wouldn't know to ask that. But Crane didn't notice, or didn't care. I said take it off, Crane barked. Reed lowered the mask slowly. The streetlight cast shadows that kept most of his features hidden. Crane stared for a second, then walked back to his car. Reed waited. 10 minutes passed. 15. 20. Dragging out the wait was a known intimidation tactic. Crane finally returned, staring at Reed like he'd already decided he didn't like him. Step out of the vehicle. May I ask why? Reed said calmly. Crane leaned in. Because I told you to. Reed stepped out. Crane circled him and the cab like he was searching for a reason to start trouble. His flashlight hit the windows, the floor, the back seat. Anything to justify what he wanted to do next. What are you doing in this neighborhood? Crane asked. I'm a taxi driver, Reed answered. I dropped someone off not long ago. Where is this person now? At home, I assume. Crane eyed him like the answer offended him. Let me see what's in your bag. Reed's voice stayed level. Do you have a reason to search it? Crane stepped closer. My reason is I'm asking. Open it. Reed unzipped the bag. Crane dug through it like he expected something illegal to appear. Nothing did. Then Crane asked the question Reed expected. Where are you from? You weren't born here, were you? I was born right here in this city. Crane made a sound, half disbelief, half disgust. Then came the moment Reed knew was coming. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Reed froze. Am I under arrest? What's the charge? Suspicious activity, Crane replied. And not cooperating the way I need you to. Both lies. Both recorded. Cold cuffs tightened around Reed's wrists. He felt the click, the final lock. Crane pushed him toward the patrol car, locked him in the back, and when Crane got behind the wheel, he started talking. People like you. This area is safer when your kind stays out. You drivers show up thinking you can go wherever you want. Reed said nothing. He let the body cam do the work. The drive felt slow, even though it was only 15 minutes. Crane kept talking the whole time, revealing himself sentence by sentence. Reed watched the city pass by through the cage barrier. He kept his breathing steady, even though part of him wanted to shout. Not because of the insults, but because of how many innocent people had sat in this exact seat before him. When they pulled into the station, Crane still didn't know who he had in the back of his car. But everyone inside the station was about to find out. Crane opened the back door. Any warrants? Any unpaid tickets? He taunted. Anything at all. Because if there is, tonight's the night you go to jail. Reed stepped out. He walked quietly. And then, when they reached the booking area, he finally stopped walking. Crane tugged at him. Move, let's go. Reed didn't move. Instead, he lifted his head, straightened his shoulders, and spoke in the voice of a man used to command. Officer Crane, listen to me carefully. Crane frowned. What are you? Reed pulled off his cap. Then pulled off the mask. Silence hit the room like thunder. Officers froze. Some stood. Some gasped, because they recognized the face instantly. Crane didn't, yet. What's everyone staring at? Crane snapped. Reed turned around. Crane's eyes went wide. His mouth opened. His hand dropped from his belt. See, Captain. Reed looked him dead in the eye. Officer Crane, remove these handcuffs. Now. The woods were not supposed to feel alive, but tonight they did. Mara sat on the cold ground, breathing hard, trying to stop her hands from shaking. The night air pressed against her skin, warm but heavy, like it carried a warning she could not understand. Behind her, the house stood silent, too silent, like a dark mouth waiting to swallow anything that dared come close. Her heartbeat slowed a little, but fear still wrapped around her like a tight rope. She looked toward the trees. The woods were dark, thicker than she remembered. The branches twisted high above her, forming shapes that looked like hands reaching down to grab her. Mara wiped her tears with trembling fingers and forced herself to stand. She needed help. She needed someone. Anyone. Her mother was still in that house. Mara took one step forward, then another, moving deeper into the trees. Leaves crunched under her feet, sounding too loud in the quiet night. Every sound made her flinch, the rustle of the grass, the whisper of the wind, even her own breathing. A thought kept repeating in her mind like a broken record. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. She walked faster. Then she stopped. Something was wrong with the air again. It shifted, slow, cold, spreading from behind her like a shadow stretching across the ground. Mara froze. Her neck prickled. Her breath came out in a small cloud even though the night wasn't cold. That same whisper, thin, sharp, slid through the trees. Mara. Her whole body tensed. She didn't turn around. She didn't breathe. She didn't blink. The whisper came again, closer this time. Ma'ara. Her legs moved before her mind did. She ran. Branches whipped her arms as she pushed through the dark woods. Her feet slipped on roots and stones, but she didn't dare slow down. Something followed her. She could feel it. Not footsteps, not breathing, just a presence. Heavy, cold, watching her with those ember-like eyes. She ran until her lungs burned like fire. Finally, she burst into a small clearing, collapsing onto the grass. Her chest heaved. She pressed a hand against the ground to keep from falling over. Think, think, think. She needed a plan. She needed to find someone. She needed. A faint crack sounded from the trees behind her. Mara whipped her head around, eyes wide. A branch lay broken on the ground, freshly snapped. The woods went quiet again. Too quiet. Even the insects seemed afraid to make a sound. Mara stood slowly, her legs shaking beneath her. She turned in a slow circle, scanning every shadow, every tree trunk, every patch of darkness. At first, she saw nothing. Then she saw everything. Far between the trees, a tall shape stood still. Too still. Its body was thin, stretched, almost wrong. Its head tilted slightly, watching her. The dim ember-like glow from before flickered faintly in the shadows. Mara's stomach twisted. The thing wasn't breathing. It wasn't blinking. It wasn't moving. It was waiting. She took one step back, then another. The shape didn't move. But the shadows behind it did, rippling like water disturbed by a stone. A low hum vibrated through the trees. It wasn't sound. Not really. More like something pushing into her mind, making it hard to think. Mara clutched her head. Stop, stop, she whispered, but the hum grew louder. Her knees buckled. The creature stepped forward. Not fast. Not slow. Just deliberate. Like it already knew she couldn't escape. Mara crawled backward, dirt sticking to her hands. Her breath shook as tears filled her eyes. She couldn't run. Her legs refused to obey. Fear pinned her to the ground like invisible hands. The creature came closer. The ember eyes glowed brighter. The hum grew louder. Mara pressed her palms to her ears, squeezing her eyes shut, but the sound was inside her head, vibrating through her bones. She wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Then, snap. A branch cracked somewhere to her left. The hum stopped. Silence cut through the woods like a knife. The creature froze. Mara looked up just in time to see it turn its head toward the sound. Not normally, its neck twisted too far, too smoothly, like its bones were made of smoke. Another snap echoed through the trees, closer this time. The creature tilted its head again, listening. Mara used the moment to crawl behind a fallen log. Her hands trembled as she covered her mouth to hold in her breaths. The woods stayed quiet. Too quiet. Then, something else moved. Not the creature. Not Mara. Something bigger. Something human. A flashlight beam cut through the trees. Mara? Her heart jumped. It was Mr. Henley, the older man who lived 2 houses down. He stepped into the clearing, breathing hard, the flashlight shaking in his hand. His boots crushed the grass as he moved toward the center of the opening. Mara? He called again, louder. Behind the log, Mara's breath nearly escaped her lips. He didn't know. He didn't see the creature standing at the edge of the clearing. She tried to call out, tried to warn him, but her voice wouldn't come. Mr. Henley moved deeper into the clearing, scanning the trees. Then the light from his flashlight landed on the creature. He froze. The creature did not. It stepped toward him, slow, calculated. Mr. Henley stumbled backward, his flashlight beam shaking wildly. What is that?" he shouted, voice cracking. The creature's body jerked once, like it was adjusting itself. Then it rushed him. Not running. Not gliding. Something in between. Too fast, too smooth, too unnatural. Mr. Henley screamed as the creature reached him. The light hit the creature's face for a split second, and Mara saw it clearly. A twisted, shifting mask. Hollow ember eyes. A mouth that didn't open with flesh, but with shadow. The flashlight dropped, rolling across the grass. Mr. Henley's screams turned into choked gasps. Mara covered her ears, tears streaming down her face. She couldn't look. She didn't want to look. The sound alone was enough to break her. Then everything went quiet. Mara forced herself to peek. The creature stood still again, its body shaking like smoke trying to hold its shape. Mr. Henley lay motionless on the ground. The creature slowly turned its head, back toward Mara. Its ember eyes brightened. It knew she was there. Mara's heart pounded. Her hands slipped on the log as she scrambled backward. The creature stepped forward, slow and patient, like a hunter that already knew its prey had nowhere left to run. Mara's breath came in short gasps. Her vision blurred. She pushed herself up and ran, not knowing where she was going, just running deeper into the woods, branches clawing at her arms as she fled. Behind her, she heard the creature's slow, heavy steps. It was following her. Not fast. Not hungry. Just certain. Mara's legs were moving faster than her thoughts. She didn't know where she was going. She didn't even know which direction home was anymore. The only thing she knew, deep in her bones, was that she had to keep running. Every breath felt like knives in her chest. Branches whipped her face and arms. The ground beneath her feet changed from soft dirt to sharp stones to thick roots that tried to trip her. Still, she ran. The woods grew darker, thicker, closing around her like a cage. Behind her, the creature followed. Not fast. Not slow. Just steady. Each step it took made the air shake. The trees rustled, not from wind, but from the cold that spread before it, like the forest itself was afraid. Mara stumbled over a fallen log and crashed to the ground. Pain shot up her leg. For a moment, she couldn't move. She lay in the dirt, shaking, trying hard not to scream. She pushed herself up, only to fall again. Her ankle throbbed. She couldn't run anymore. Panic exploded inside her. She crawled toward a cluster of large rocks and squeezed behind them, trying to make herself small. Her breath came in quick gasps. She covered her mouth with both hands to keep from making a sound. The forest went silent again. The kind of silence that felt like someone pressing a hand over the whole world's mouth. Mara closed her eyes. Please, please, please. A low hum rose in the air. Her heart dropped. That sound again. The one that crawled inside her mind and pushed her thoughts apart like they were too soft to hold. Her vision blurred. Her ears rang. She pressed her palms tightly over her ears, but the hum didn't stop. It wasn't sound. It was something deeper, something that wanted to break her from the inside. The leaves outside her hiding place began to move. Slowly, like something tall was walking through them. Then she heard it. A long breath. Not like a human breath. Not like any animal she knew. It was thin, ragged, like cold air being dragged through something broken. Mara held her breath. The creature's shadow stretched across the ground in front of the rocks. Long, twisted, like it didn't belong in the shape of anything alive. The shadow paused, as if it were listening. Her heartbeat thudded so loudly she was sure it could hear it. The creature's head tilted slightly. The hum grew louder. Mara squeezed her eyes shut as tears slipped down her cheeks. She felt the cold spreading across the rocks. Creeping. Reaching. Closer. Closer. Then, a crack of thunder split the sky. Mara gasped. Not real thunder, not from a storm. It was something else. A loud snapping sound echoed through the woods, almost like a tree splitting in half. The hum stopped instantly. The shadow froze. The forest shook as something massive fell to the ground far away. The creature turned its head sharply, the ember eyes dimming for a second. It was distracted. Mara didn't know how. She didn't know why, but she took the chance. She crawled out from behind the rocks, biting back a cry as her ankle screamed in pain. She dragged herself toward a slope that dipped deeper into the woods. Every movement made her want to collapse, but she kept going. Behind her, she heard the creature move again. It was no longer distracted. The hum returned, louder, colder, angrier. Mara reached the slope and slid down, dirt and leaves flying around her. She grabbed onto roots to slow her fall, her palms burning as they scraped the ground. At the bottom of the slope, she found herself in a deeper part of the forest, a place she had never seen before. The trees here were huge, ancient, their trunks thick and twisted. Moss covered the ground in soft patches. But that wasn't what stopped her. What stopped her was the structure standing in the center of the clearing. A small cabin. Old, wooden, half-broken. It looked abandoned. Windows shattered, door crooked. Vines crawling up the sides like claws. Mara didn't trust it. But she had no choice. The hum grew louder behind her. She limped toward the cabin, dragging her injured leg. The ground felt like it was shaking with every step the creature took. She reached the door and pushed. It creaked open slowly. The inside was dark, almost pitch black, but she stepped in anyway. She shut the door behind her and pressed her back against it, breathing hard. The cabin smelled like dust and old wood. The air was thick, heavy, untouched for years. Her eyes adjusted slowly. She saw broken chairs. A shelf with half-rotten books. A table covered in dust. And something carved into the walls. Symbols. Dozens of them. Some were circles. Some were long lines crossed with shorter ones. Some looked like eyes. Deep, hollow eyes. Mara stepped closer, reaching out to touch one, but stopped. A cold feeling pushed into her chest. Not like the creature's cold. Different. Older. She backed away. Then she heard it. The creature stepping into the clearing outside the cabin. Its footsteps made the wooden boards tremble. The hum pushed against the walls, making the air inside vibrate. Mara crouched behind the table and covered her head. The door creaked. Not from wind. From pressure. From weight. Something pressed against it. Slowly. Mara held her breath. The door bent slightly inward, wood cracking under the force. The hum seeped through the cracks, sliding into her mind again, making her hands shake uncontrollably. The door split. A long, thin hand, made of shadow but shaped like bone, slid through the opening. Mara pressed her back against the wall. The hand reached for the latch. It was going to get inside. She looked around desperately. She needed something, anything, to protect herself. Her eyes landed on a rusted metal tool lying on the floor. Maybe an old crowbar. She grabbed it with both hands. The latch clicked. The door opened halfway. The creature's head slowly pushed through, ember eyes glowing brighter than ever. Its jaw unhinged, not like a human jaw, but like a crack opening in darkness. Mara raised the crowbar with shaking arms. The creature stepped forward. A loud sound exploded behind her. Not from the creature. From the symbols on the wall. They glowed, bright white, burning through the darkness like fire. The creature recoiled violently, its body twisting, shaking. The hum cracked like shattered glass. The creature stumbled backward, choking on its own shadow. Its eyes dimmed. Its form flickered. The symbols burned brighter. The creature collapsed to the floor, writhing like smoke caught in a storm. Its body twisted more violently until it dissolved into thin, black dust that drifted across the cabin floor and vanished into the cracks. Silence filled the room. Slow. Heavy. Real silence. Mara didn't move. She didn't breathe. She didn't blink. Then she dropped the crowbar and fell to her knees. The creature was gone. Really gone. But her mother wasn't saved. The house wasn't safe. And the darkness, whatever it was, felt bigger than one creature. Much bigger. Mara stood slowly, gripping the table for support. Her ankle throbbed, but she ignored the pain. She had to go back. She had to face whatever waited inside her house. She stepped out of the cabin and into the quiet woods. The night felt different now. Not safe, but not hopeless either. She took one slow breath, wiped her tears, and whispered to herself, "I'm going home." Then she limped into the darkness. The story wasn't over. Not even close.